Hey everybody, this is Robin Taylor with ASI, back here with Adam Simone at Wade's eSite. Now we're talking about the typical guns that are used in an ASI match. So, Adam, I'm seeing a whole bunch of stuff laying here in front of me. It's like the whole gamut of guns. The only thing missing here is a .22 long rifle, I guess.
Pretty close to it.
I get the impression that the ASI rules are very forgiving as far as what you can bring.
Yeah.
And I think Wade's is the same way. You don't
Yeah.
have any particular restrictions on this.
Very much so.
What's the typical gun that people show up with?
For the most part, we're seeing a lot of full size or compact.
Okay.
And pretty typically what we see is a carry gun. It's whatever they're bringing in from work, wherever it is that they've been out and about.
Okay. Bedstand guns, the guns
Yeah.
they had. Okay.
For the most part. And then, we certainly have people who occasionally will bring in a fun gun. They'll bring in their
Okay.
something a little more souped up, something a little more fancy.
Okay.
But
we
we
see
see
it
it
all.
all.
This guy, I guess, this is one of the 1911s from the Wade's rental counter, which counts as pretty fancy. It's got a magazine well on it. It's got all kinds of little accoutrements, full-length guide rods and ambi safeties and fun things like that. What it doesn't have is any form of recoil compensator, I've noticed.
Correct.
The ASI rules allow for porting, where you could drill holes in the barrel, but we don't allow for barrel-mounted compensators. So that tends to be the province of the full race, match world, and that's
Right.
not really what we're interested in.
Right.
So, single action 1911, beautiful gun. But that's certainly, that seems to me like it would be the upper end of the scale.
And I think it is. There are certainly those that do carry something of that type, but
Okay.
much less common than your typical compact or even full size polymer frame, a little bit lighter, a little more forgiving on the hip.
And this is a Glock 19? Yeah?
Glock 19. This one's the MOS, so we do have a Burris fast fire on this one.
So
with a little red dot.
Optics are allowed.
Optics are fine. Upgraded sights are fine. Not a problem. And I'm seeing actually a lot of people who are carrying the MOS or some other manufacturer
yeah,
with
that's
a
quite
small
the
red dot. Really popular
Okay.
for defensive or concealed carry or home defense even.
Okay. If I remember correctly, where ASI draws the line is you can have a slide-mounted optic system like this one is, where notice it flies back and forth with the slide as the gun cycles. But what you can't have is a frame-mounted one, where it's fixed solidly to the frame and then the parts move externally. So on the slide is okay, a scope mounted to the frame is not.
Right.
Now notice there's one other kind of optic that sometimes people will show up with, and that's this guy.
Yeah.
A little kind that, I don't know if you can see that in the picture or not, but it actually throws a projected laser dot. And these are not allowed, as I understand, in most of the big games. They're either not allowed or not relevant.
Right.
So,
But we allow them. A lot of people are putting a laser on their concealed carry gun.
Sure.
Especially with something with a barrel length as short as the snubs. The snub nose
yeah, those are
revolvers.
small, aren't they?
Or we see occasionally the SIG 938, the Glock 43, 42, the real small little pocket guns, if you will. And lasers actually can be pretty helpful on something that size if its primary intent is to be a defensive firearm where time is of the essence and you've got not an accurate firearm, but harder firearm to shoot accurately.
Yeah, and I'm noticing guys show up at ASI matches with snubs like this fairly often. Right?
Yeah.
'Cause, where else are you going to shoot them?
And you could shoot the static paper all day long with it, but where else are you going to shoot it and move?
That's for sure.
Or do a
That's for
reload and try shooting through a window or whatever it is also you're going to do. A lot of people are bringing in knowing full well that you're not going to take first place with a snub-nosed 5-shot revolver.
But that's
you
not
are
the
going
point
to,
anyway.
exactly,
Yeah.
you're going to get the practical training, you're going to get the experience, and you're going to learn the shortcomings of the firearm and your personal limits with whatever gun it is you choose.
Sure. I've taken to shooting this Smith & Wesson Shield kind of for that reason.
Yeah.
I've got big match guns I could bring. And,
Oh, yeah.
Try and set the world on fire with them.
Right.
But that's not really the point of the
Right.
ASI. We're mostly here to use the guns that you don't use everywhere else and to have a good time with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the things I love about ASIs. It's not about the equipment. It's,
Right.
You can show up with whatever gun you own.
Yeah.
And shoot an ASI match and have a good time doing it.
Right. Yeah.
And not feel like you bought the wrong gun.
No, of course, and that's what I love so much about it is how welcoming it is to really whoever.
Do you see very many people shooting 22s?
A couple, not many, but a couple. And I know that we've got one regular who shoots 22 a lot, and she's doing it to really get that comfort level, before she steps up to a 9 for a defensive gun.
That's what we've seen over at Renton and up at Northpoint, and the ranges. You usually see junior shooters or people that are fairly new to shooting,
Right.
shooting a 22.
And it's a great way to learn. It's a great firearm to learn the fundamentals on. And, you know, if you do that to start, by the time you graduate to that next caliber up, whatever that caliber may be, it's really going to make a big difference in proficiency from the get-go.
And they're not penalized for shooting a 22.
No.
So at most ranges, the people shooting a 22 are shoot separately, but they shoot on the same course, they shoot for the same score, and the scores are comparable at the end. So because you're shooting a 22, it's easier than pushing a different group, but everybody can compare the math at the end.
Right, right.